Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So this is my color art journal, and I call it my color art journal because on each spread I'm kind of exploring different aspects of color, different colors, different color combinations, different ratios of color, etc. So this over here is a very neutral spread, and this is the cover. This is a very cool spread. This is a hot spread. And now for this spread, I am going to go very pinky, pinky, pinky. So I'm just feeling all the pinks. And I think my cools in this spread, I think I'm gonna go with a blue. And for my ratio, I want it, this is what I'm imagining right now, that could change. I want it to be a pink, I don't know, half of me wants it to be a pink dominated spread with some blues, and then another part of me wants it to be infused with pink, but also still have it be grounded in a neutral kind of a spread. So I hope I'm making sense, but I don't know which way I'm going to go. For right now, what I'm going to do is I am going to just sketch in my figures, and I'm going to use a blue Stabilo pencil. And I want to keep this part over here. This is my own collage, and so is this over here. And I have some tea bags here, which I'm really loving. So I'm going to try to retain as much of this as possible. And I'm not going for any kind of realism. I'm just simply going with the flow and seeing where this is going to go. So this is going to be like the dress part, and that way I can retain this beautiful piece of collage here. And I think the neck, like I love a lot of what is going on. The collage, the dictionary print, I'm going to bring it closer. I want to retain that. And for over here, I want this to be the hair, I'm thinking, so I can retain all of that really beautiful stuff. And now the way this is reading, she doesn't have much of a neck. I would like for her to have a bit of a longer neck, but we're just going to go with it because it's more important for me to retain all this stuff, this collage and everything, as hair. And sometimes we just have to make choices like that, like, you know, what is more important. And to me, it's just more important that I retain all of this stuff here rather than her have a longer neck. And I think over here, I'm gonna put like a moon, and that works out really well. And I don't know if I want to leave all of this just blank or if I want to add another figure. You know what? I think I'm going to add another figure here. And because I can't make hair, because it's going to kind of conflict with this moon shape here, I think what I'm going to do is just give this figure a crown. And I can still retain this collage here. And there we go. So I think initially I wanted this to be a very pink dominated spread with a lot of, like, the ratio being like, say, 80% pink and 20% neutrals, but there's so much beautiful stuff going on here that think I might want to retain a lot of the neutrals. Like, I'm really loving all of this stuff here. And I still don't know actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay out some of the pinks just to kind of infuse the page with some beautiful pinks here. So let me just go naturally over there. Now it is going to pick up some of the blue Stabilo and it's kind of making it more purpley, but that's totally fine. I'm going to just go with it. And this is my Holbein Luminous Opera, which is just a delicious, delicious color. And I'm just going to kind of go like so. And I'm going to bring some of that over here for now. And these are the beginning stages, so anything, things can change. And I can say, hey, I want to cover all of this up. And let's bring that Luminous Opera in there. And I don't want to cover up this piece, but I have to, if I want the neck, the dictionary pages and all the tea bags and all that neutral gooey goodness to show up, I am going to have to cover up some of this. If you have everything, like say if everything is a neutral, then nothing is a neutral. I hope I'm making sense with what I'm saying. Like if I have the background being neutral and then, the neck and face being neutral, then it's going to take away from the power of the neutral. It's going to take away from the beauty of all of this stuff because there's just going to be too much of it. And that is true whether I'm talking about texture or color or line or anything. If there's too much of something, it doesn't show up. And in my last video where I used the assemblages, I illustrated that with the red piece. When I plopped it into the red dominated painting or assemblage, then it doesn't show up. But when I put it into the neutral one, the red is really going to show up by contrast. So that's true for all of the elements in a painting. And assemblages are so amazing. And if anybody is interested, I could do more videos on assemblages, but using other elements. So say texture and, line, etc. They're just such a great tool. So you guys, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really feeling this whole kind of pinky thing going on. I mean, I love Luminous Opera. That's one of my favorite colors in the whole wide world, but I'm not really feeling it. So I'm going to drop, I'm going to drop some of this ink and just see. Now, you know what? I'm really loving this a lot more. And it's so strange because, like I said, Luminous Opera is one of my all-time favorite colors, but I think in this particular spread, it just, I don't know, it wasn't working for me. So this kind of a magenta color, it's an ink, and I'm just loving this a lot more. So, things can change. It's totally fine, and it's good to be open to changes and not be really set in like, oh, this is what I initially thought, so this is what I'm going to continue doing. Ooh, now I'm really loving this, actually. I'm really digging this. Okay. I'm going to bring some of it into here. And kind of go around the crown here. And I'm going to drag some of this Stabilo. Now, this blue Stabilo pencil is actually, for me, is it's mixing much better with this magenta ink than it was with the luminous opera. So that might be another factor to consider. Now, purple is a very difficult color for me to work with personally. I love it, but it is just more challenging. But when I do gravitate towards a purple, it's usually this like magenta cerise kind of a color. Ooh, now I'm really loving this. I'm really loving this kind of purpley pink here. I'm going to drop some more of that in there. I'm really loving it. It's so luscious. Oof. So, like I said, I want to keep this over here. And I want to keep all of this as well. So I'm just going to kind of leave that as is for now. And I think what I might do here is bring in some neutrals, but I'm not going to do a paint. I'm going to just use my Stabilo pencil. I'm just kind of feeling it. So it's still going to be a neutral, but it's just going to be a little bit more textured and just a different kind of a feel, I guess. And I think I'm going to allow this to completely dry and then come back to it. But I hope the big takeaway from this video is that it's okay to change your mind anywhere in the painting, but especially in the beginning stages, because when I first came in, I thought, like I laid out my luminous opera and this fluorescent pink, and I also had this gorgeous handmade Indian paper, and it's like a really hot pink with gold. So I thought, oh, I just kind of had this vision in my mind, like I'm just gonna go all out pink. But you know what? I changed my mind. I went with this cerise magenta kind of a color, and I'm really loving it. So I hope the takeaway from this video is that, you know, it's totally fine to have a vision in your mind, but then to also be open to possibilities and to change your mind anywhere, but especially in the beginning layers. So I am just gonna allow this to completely dry, and then I'm gonna come back to it. So if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.